Hey y'all, comic girl and comic dog Cosplay here for the next video in my YouTube series, A Beginner's Guide to Cosplay. In this video, we're going to be talking about cosplay posing. I know posing can sometimes be awkward, and it's one of those things that oftentimes will come really naturally to people or will be really difficult for other people, such as potatoes like myself. But even potatoes can still look good in pictures with the right kind of posing. I mean, just look at French fries. So the first thing you're going to want to look into is, does the character you're dressing up as have any key or signature poses? A lot of times you're going to want to look to see if they have any superpowers, or if they have any weapons or props they frequently use, or also if they have any very, very dominant personality traits. If the character you're going to be cosplaying as doesn't have any predominant personality traits, or if they don't have any key poses or superpowers or any props to pose with, you can always just do generic poses. So for example, if you're going to be dressing up as a superhero, you can always do, the power stance, the hands on the hip. You can always do a fighting pose, with your fists up. Or for example, if you're doing a character from anime, you can always do, a little kawaii poses and stuff. The next piece of advice I would give is to stand in front of a mirror for a while, preferably a full-length mirror, looking at yourself. This may be a little bit awkward, but it's a great way to see what poses can work for you and how certain angles work for you and what might look good in front of a camera. While you're doing this, you're also going to want to try out different poses and stances. It's always best to pose dynamically instead of still. It looks a little more natural in photos and kind of gives a little more energy and life to them, makes them a little more interesting. So these are also good things you're going to want to try practicing in front of the mirror. And lastly, you're also going to want to try different facial expressions, poses, and angles. So just continuing on from my last point, expression is key, so don't forget that you have to pose your face as well as your body for photos. Sometimes people become so focused on the poses that they're doing with their body that they forget to pose their face as well. For example, if you're doing a fighting scene, having a big grin on your face doesn't always fit. So try out a bunch of different facial expressions in the mirror, and don't be afraid to try going over the top with some of these facial expressions. Another great way to figure out poses is to see what other cosplayers have done. Animated photos can be all fine and dandy, but sometimes the poses that they have there are rather unrealistic. If you look to see what other cosplayers have done, you can see how certain poses look on an actual human being, and you might get some really cool ideas from what they've done. And my last recommendation would be to have at least 3 poses that you alternate using, but throughout the day. Variety is a great thing, and when you get photos back from the convention, you don't want all the photos looking the exact same in the exact same pose, so variety is a good thing. Also, if you're going to be doing a photo shoot, depending on the length of the shoot, you may want to come up with a few more poses than just the 3. That's it for this video. Until next time, when the uncanny adventures of comical cosplay continue.